Hey guys, it's Lauren Hamilton from the Green Program. Welcome. We're our first live, so we want to give some people some time to jump on the call. But thanks so much for joining us. This is the Let's Talk Funding info session, and we'll talk about some of the Green Program, as well as some stuff about funding, academic credit, safety, and all that good stuff. But we're just started, so I want to give everybody a few minutes. On the left side, there'll be a chat bar for you guys to add in questions about the program that you have or about anything that we talk about. And we also have 2 alumni on the call that you'll be able to ask questions to as well that we'll introduce in a little bit. So I think we're looking good. We are only 1 minute past 5, so I'll give you a little bit more time to tune in. So feel free to ask questions, comments. If you think we're being funny and quirky, that's great too. There might be some fun surprises in there with some musical additions into the presentation, so stay tuned. And then we'll get started in a few minutes. Hope everybody is enjoying their beginning of summer so far. Feels like it came really fast, and has some cool plans for the summertime. So I guess we will get started. Thanks again for joining us for this info session focused on funding for TGP programs. And we're super excited to have you guys to chat. So pretty much what we're going to do in this session is chat about TGP, our programs, who we are, our students, some credit, about academic credit, and also talk about funding. And also, I would love for you guys to introduce yourselves to us as well. Maybe what your name, where you're from, and if you've checked anything off your bucket list. I will start. So my name is Lauren Hamilton, and I am the Student Success Coordinator at the Green Program. I'm actually originally from Philadelphia, which is where the Green Program is located. My job is essentially to work with all of our potential students and accepted students to learn more about the programs, understand what TGP is, and as well as find the program that works best for them and their passion and goals, and essentially get their green journey started. So I'm here as a resource for all of our students. And something that I've checked off my bucket list is I have dove with sharks before, which wasn't something I expected to be on my bucket list, but it was there, it happened, and then after I checked it off, so that's good. Now we have 2 alumni on the call, and before we do that, just remember to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at the Green Program, and you can also look us up on our website at www.thegreenprogram.com. Why don't we go and introduce our awesome alumni. So Connor is actually here from the UK, so he's staying up late to join us on the call. And then we have Zoe, who actually just returned from one of our programs. So I'll let you guys take it off and talk about yourself a little bit. So Connor, why don't you first?
I'll start.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm Connor. I'm from the UK, as Lauren just said. I went on the Hawaii program last year, the first time ever. It was a bit scary, jumping across the pond, having no idea about America at all. I am at the University of Sheffield in the UK, and I have just finished my degree doing civil engineering. I got to kind of do the Green Program last year as a kind of branch out away from the classroom to find something interesting and kind of quirky to do that aligned with kind of where I want to go with my career, and the things that I enjoy. So Hawaii was the step into the unknown and ended up being one of the best experiences that I've ever had. So
cool. And then I'm Zoe, and I study systems engineering at Michigan Technological University in Michigan's Upper Peninsula in the States. So I basically just like look at how everything fits together and like interacts. And like Lauren said, I just got back from Iceland last night, actually. And yeah, I just kind of saw it as this way for me to kind of pursue like what I'm passionate about. Renewable energy, which is what the Iceland program is about, is kind of always been there for me, and it's really important to me. So it was just kind of this stepping stone for me to get more involved with it and do some things that my school doesn't offer me and meet some cool people. So.
And do you guys have anything that you've checked off your bucket list?
Ooh. I mean, I've been snorkeling in the Caribbean and in Iceland now. So I guess I'll count that. Snorkeling was pretty cool.
Connor?
Mine would probably be swimming with turtles in Hawaii. You don't really get the opportunity anywhere near me. It's all kind of lakes. I mean, there's nothing substantial near the UK to kind of go see, so that was pretty cool.
Nice, cool. Well, yeah, anyone that's listening, yeah, let us know who you are, where you're from, and anything that you've checked off of your bucket list. And then as well, if you have any questions throughout the program, throughout the info session, we have Caitlin here, who is our Director of Content Strategy, who is the man in the background, and she'll be there to answer your questions. And then also at the end, we'll have a big Q&A for any questions that you have throughout the info session as well. So yeah, we'll get started on the good stuff. Okay, so 1 second. Okay. So yeah, we are the Green Program, and we are a education abroad company that focuses on short-term experiential study abroad programs focused on the world's most challenging issues in sustainable development. So our programs are structured to provide students with hands-on learning experiences that takes concepts that they're talking about within their classrooms and passionate about in their lives and seeing it in reality. And TGP programs are designed to give students the skills and tools to really take with them in their future. So yeah, and a little bit about us. We were founded in 2009 in Rutgers University. We started with a small cohort of passionate friends in Costa Rica, and now we have grown to about 3,000 students and over 3 programs. And we have received applications from students from 70 different countries and over 400 universities. So yeah, and like we have Connor here that's coming from the UK, which is really awesome. And then, so our programs run from about 8 to 10 days, and they're driven to provide our students with the most impact in the short amount of time. So, you know, we're providing our students with these cutting edge academic experiences, these experiences in facilities in their country that they're visiting. So we have our programs in Japan, in Iceland, and in Japan and Iceland and Peru. And our students get to go into facilities in these countries, depending on the topic that they're talking about within their program. And getting an opportunity to go and meet with professionals who are implementing these topics that our students are talking about in their classrooms right now and in reality. And we also provide our students with these amazing bucket list adventures and these cultural immersion experiences within these countries. So we want to provide them with these 3 pillars of really in-depth and stimulating academic experience, a career acceleration opportunity by meeting professionals in the field, and then as well as these amazing adventures that they wouldn't get to experience otherwise in any other travel. And then all of our itineraries are inclusive as well. So when you step onto the program in your new country, you don't have to worry about a thing, and we're there to provide you with, you know, a really unique and special opportunity. So we want to take you on an awesome ride. So yeah, and something that's really special about our program is that we actually don't release our specific itinerary to our students before they travel. And this is the We do provide them with a sample itinerary to give them a good understanding of what they can expect on their program. But this is an idea that we want every student to go into each day with an open mind and about each day of their program and kind of take every moment as it comes. So Connor, what did you think about this kind of structure of, you know, having the itinerary like come up for you day by day?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty like a quite good way of doing it, because it meant every day we were told kind of get up around this time, meet here, and then you kind of never knew what you were going to do. So it was kind of added to the excitement. And yeah, kind of like the surprise of what you'd be doing. And it meant like every time you did something pretty like awesome, you were like, yeah, never could have expected that to happen.
Nice, cool, great, thank you. So then we'll kind of go into more of each one of our programs that we offer here at the Green Program. So one of our programs, one of our newer programs is our Japan program in Fukushima, Japan. And this program focuses on disaster mitigation and nuclear to renewable transitions. As some of you may remember, in 2011, a massive tsunami hit Fukushima that caused a nuclear disaster when the Daiichi nuclear power plant was destroyed. And our students get a truly exclusive opportunity to go into Fukushima and experience how Fukushima is working to revitalize their community, as well as become a leader in renewable energy in the world. So they have actually pledged to go 100% renewable by 2040. And our students get an opportunity to, you know, go into the Daiichi nuclear power plant, as you can see here in this picture, and really interact with the professionals that are implementing these solutions into the community today. And something that's super exciting about our Japan program this upcoming summer, actually, from July 31st to August 9th, we will have the renowned scientist and pioneer in his field, Dr. Yosao Nishi, who will be joining our program. And he has actually been nominated or has won 2 secretary awards, which are the highest non-monetary award from the Department of Energy, and for his work on his contributions to the reaction to Fukushima, as well as the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. And he is also a leader in decommissioning Fukushima, as well as decommissioning Chernobyl. So he's really a leader in the industry and in nuclear energy, and is an amazing opportunity for our students to get to interact with him, go to classes with him, go to facility tours. He's also providing us with some really exclusive opportunities in Japan. So if there's something that you could see yourself joining in on, we would love to have you. And then we also have a program in Peru, centered in Cusco, Peru, focused on water resource management and sustainable practices. This program has a really unique combination of looking at water resource management and sustainable practices from a historical perspective as well as a modern perspective. So you get to look at where Peru has been in the past in the ancient Incan Empire, and go to ancient agricultural sites and see how they developed their water initiatives, and then also go to sites in Peru today, like the hydroelectric facility in at Machu Picchu, and see where they're developing these technologies to provide a better community for their people today. And it has a really unique community engagement aspect to this program as well. Our students get to really delve into a culture, a new culture in Peru. And it's also considered one of the top culinary destinations in the world, as well as home to one of the 8 world wonders of Machu Picchu, which our students get to travel to, and which is a really special opportunity. It's something that's another thing on my bucket list. And then our last program is our Iceland program, focused on renewable energy and sustainability. And the reason why this program is in Iceland is that it's considered one of the greenest countries on the planet, as they produce almost 100% of their electricity on renewable energy resources. So anyone that wants to really delve into renewable energy, this is the perfect place for you in the land of ice and fire if you're a Game of Thrones fan like me, shout out. But I'll let Zoe kind of take off a little bit about her experience in Iceland, since she literally just got back a day ago. So Zoe, can you tell us a little bit about how your experience in Iceland was, and maybe some highlights from your trip?
Yeah, so Iceland completely lives up to the hype. I think like there's been a lot of like touristy campaigns, and you always see them and you're like, oh, I don't know if it's that cool. 100% it's that cool. It's everything that they make it out to be. And like totally understand why they shot Game of Thrones and like Lord of the Rings there. Like the beauty is completely unmatched. Just some of the highlights I think was just seeing like the whole country. It's absolutely beautiful. There's so many. If you like to be outside, like we hiked everywhere pretty much. And just like actually getting to like look at the island. It's such a unique place. And yeah, it's just phenomenal. I think like one of my favorite parts, we spent 2 days camping in the Highlands, and like to get out there you have to take like a special kind of bus because it's all rocky and you have to like cross some rivers. And we hiked like 8 or 10, like between 8 and 10 kilometers, and just like standing on top of the mountains in the Highlands and looking at everything. Like you felt so small, but in the absolute best way. You're just looking at everything. And like all I could think about was, yeah, of course I care about this. Like, of course I want to save this and like help with the transition towards like renewable energy. So
nice. And were there any facility visits that really stood out to you on your trip?
Yeah, so we got to go like inside a hydro dam plant. And we actually got to go on the floor with the turbines because it's still connected to the grid, but it's not operating. And I think they first built it in the 1920s. So like we actually got to go on the floor and like look at the turbines and like see how they work. And then the guy who was giving us a tour like explained the whole process to us. And it was just really fun. And then we also toured a geothermal plant and another hydro dam that's currently operational. And they just like seeing how everything like fits together and like getting to actually look at it and talk to people who worked at the plants was just like, it really helped like solidify the concepts we were learning about in class. So I think all of the site visits were pretty awesome.
Nice, great. No, I'm glad we got to all hear from you too when you just fresh off the plane. So that goes right into our next topic of looking into what a day in the life on a green program looks like. We really strive to provide our students, as I said before, with a really balanced experience of having these really amazing moments in a classroom and having stimulating conversations with their classmates and the professors, and then having that those topics be directly translated to a site visit or a facility tour, and then maybe translating that into a cultural immersion experience. So maybe a day in a life in Iceland will be, waking up to a locally prepared breakfast at an Icelandic farmhouse, then maybe having a class on geothermal energy at Reykjavik University, and then going to a geothermal energy facility, and then going to a geotown. And then maybe later that day, you would be hanging out in some geothermal hot springs and going on a nice and awesome hike around there. And then coming back through your day, having a home style and homemade dinner. And then also working on your capstone project at night, which I'll talk about in a little bit. But as you can see, every day is going to be packed full of activity, really hitting the ground running and taking advantage of each moment. So you don't have to worry about ever having a dull moment on the trip, because we'll make sure that doesn't happen. And then also, so we'll go into a little bit of our capstone projects, which is a really special part of our programs in the way that we give our students an opportunity to, really challenge themselves and each other to think innovatively about these, these issues and problems that they are addressing in their classes. So our capstone project, each student gets into a group of students and they develop a business solution to a real world challenge in sustainable development. And our students have taken these projects and really run with them after their programs. I know a lot of us know that we have a lot of tests and exams and projects that we have throughout university, and sometimes it's just checking them off the list, but this capstone project can be a really amazing opportunity to develop a concept that you want to take with you for your future. And a lot of students have actually done so. And some projects are presented as proposals and in various stages of implementation as well. So Connor, can you tell us a little bit about your capstone project in Hawaii?
Yeah, so our capstone project looked at, we kind of had like free reign over what we could target, and we'd spent a few days looking at a few of the reefs and listening to like the locals talk about the problems with kind of polluted river, polluted sea waters and so forth. So we looked at kind of sustainable drainage of the cities and how we could look at, I think we looked at permeable pavement as a way of, attenuating stormwater on the road surfaces and trying to make sure that the water that was getting discharged into the sea wasn't going to like further affect the waters that had already been, the kind of damage that had already been done. And it was cool because we had like a few different perspectives as a group. I think there was 5 of us, and we were all coming at it from a different perspective. So my perspective was more like engineering and how it would work. There's another guy who had kind of like a better connection. He was from Florida and he surfed, so he could really understand, the effect that it had on it. So it was awesome to try and like, fit everyone's kind of perspectives together, an idea, and come towards a solution that we think we could, implement in Hawaii, but and also in other places across the world.
That touches really well on the fact that our students do come from, all different backgrounds, like I said, from almost 70 different countries, but also from different disciplines in education. So we have students that are coming from engineering backgrounds, as well as business, policy, architecture, liberal arts, and other STEM majors. So, we really get, our diversity is a really amazing part of the programs because, it gives our students an opportunity to work with people that they wouldn't have the opportunity to work with otherwise, and really come up with a really innovative solution to the problem that they're trying to address. But yeah, Zoe, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience on your capstone project as well?
Yeah, sure. So my capstone dealt with bringing solar energy to rural communities in the states that are in natural electricity monopolies. So they only have like one electricity provider, and a lot of times the rates can be really, really high and it's not affordable, and they don't maybe have the money for the upfront costs of their own solar array. So like Connor said, my group, we were really lucky. We had a girl who studies like energy policy, security, and justice. So she looked a lot at like the social aspects of people having like fair access to energy. And yeah, we just kind of ran with it. We did a case study in West Virginia because it is coal country normally. So we looked a lot at like finding these communities that maybe are like lower socioeconomically, and bringing rooftop solar to them so that they have access to a clean, lower cost alternative. And then also at the same time, we looked at like increasing education in a part of the country that like statistically has been so focused on fossil fuels, and working on educating them on renewable energy and also providing them with resources to better improve their standard of living and their education and their health and everything. So
Great. That sounds awesome. Thanks for sharing, guys. And talking to these 2 alumni, you can see that we have some awesome students that come on our program and then also stay with us, in their future. So by enrolling and attending one of our programs, you'll also be enrolled in our alumni network, which is about 3,000 students and growing now. And it's a space for professional development, for job searching, for resume building, as well as networking with like-minded people who have all attended a green program and maybe are, in a career that you're looking to get into, and have that opportunity to have a connection, a mutual connection of the green program to take you there. And we really, like I said, want to see our students succeed in their future. So we're not only focused on helping, like providing this amazing experience in Iceland, Japan, or Peru, but also, you know, helping carry you into your future as well and being there for you in your future. So we have alumni that are working at GE, SpaceX, Tesla, NASA, and you know, about 90% of our alumni stay connected with our alumni group. So this is a great space for, you know, young people coming out of college or maybe graduate school, or young professionals to find other like-minded people that are looking to make a difference in the world. Yeah, and so that brings us to the main event of the hour. Let's see if I can, let's see if I can do it. Oh, it didn't work. Well, I was trying to make a funny joke of play a money, money, money song, but here we go into let's talk funding and money for your TGP adventure. If anyone is an ABBA fan, I was gonna play that money, money, money song, but so you get what I was going for. But yeah, so we know at the Green Program that maybe our program fees don't necessarily compare to your, you know, all-inclusive spring break of $750 to Cancun. But we believe, and our alumni do too, that there's these long-term benefits to attending a Green Program that more than justify the cost. And so our programs range from about $3,800 to $4,600. And like I said, the program itinerary is fully inclusive. So your program fee will include your food, housing, and transportation in country, your academics, your facility tours, the adventure excursions you're going on, the staff that's on board, as well as your pre-education content, and then also your enrollment into our alumni network. And so what it doesn't include will be your flights. We do any travel and medical insurance, and then any discretionary funds for your program. So yeah, we know that this is, you know, college students, you know, there might be some money constrictions there, and we totally recognize that. I want to help you through that to make your Green Program experience possible. And there's definitely tons of resources out there to help you fund your program. And we're here to help you do that today, to brainstorm those ideas and see how some other students have made their Green Program happen. So one of the top ways that students fund their program is through university funding. And this is usually my first method that I talk to students about. So going to your department head, a favorite professor, or an advisor, and seeing if there's any funding available for a program such as this. And you know, you can look at travel grants, your study abroad office, and this could be a really great avenue. And it's more about presenting the program to your professor or your department head to really understand why you want to go on this program. And then another part is that our programs are fully accredited. So that means that there's potential to receive credit for your program. And that's something that you'll have to work out with your home university. But depending on the program, there is credit available to help, you know, chunk down those credits that we know we all have to get down on by graduation. So this is an amazing opportunity to, you know, have an awesome adventure and then also get some credit for your program. And then also justifies receiving, you know, university funding. So Zoe, I know that you have experience with talking with your university for funding. Can you talk a little bit about how that experience was for you, how you went about it? Yeah, can you go into that a little bit for us?
Yeah, of course. So let me just start off with, my department is pretty small, but I'm pretty sure if you asked in any size department, you could figure something out. So my advisor actually emailed me about the Green Program a while ago, like at the beginning of last year. She said, hey, I haven't looked into this, but I think you might be really interested in going to their Iceland program because, like I said, I've always kind of been the environmentalist in the group. And I was like, oh, sure, like I'll look at it. Looked at it, was like, oh, I can't afford it, kind of forgot about it. And then my department head actually came to me and he said, hey, I really want you to go to this, and if you I had to apply, so he's like, if you get accepted and if you can figure out, you know, like your plane ticket, like we'll pay for you to go. So it was a little finagling, but my school has like a general fund that the departments can pull from to send students on trips like this. So my department chair and then like our office aide, who is a gift from God, we kind of did all of the groundwork, and we pulled through like our accounting department, and yeah, they just kind of, I didn't do a lot of the groundwork. I have to credit my department head with that. But like once I said, hey, I would love to go, but like I can't, like it would have to be funded. Everybody was really helpful in helping me figure it out. And yeah, I don't know. So I only ended up, my university covered all of my costs except for my plane ticket, pretty much.
Nice,
so
that's awesome. Do you know what some of that groundwork looked like?
Yeah, so I guess what I did for my chair is I made him like a spreadsheet, and I explained like, this is how much we would need. These are all the deadlines. This is like the cost. If we pay before this date, there's a discount. And then Kelsey also sent me like a cost breakdown sheet that kind of explained like what the program fee like covered. And I just kind of smashed that together in a file and sent it on its merry way. And yeah, I just like had some conversations at my university with the people kind of in charge of our fund, and like explaining to them why I wanted to go, why it was important to me, and like how it would benefit me in the long run. Because, you know, they want to hear like, oh, like I'm going to learn, and like I want to do stuff with renewable energy. So going here and learning about this is a good use of my time, a good use of our funding. So yeah, it's kind of the
great. Oh, I mean, and now you're back, and
oh, it's so worth it. I would do it all again.
Yes, for sure.
Like,
so sometimes, like Zoe said, it's just about asking and seeing what's available and presenting, you know, the best case of why you want to travel with us and go on this adventure. You know, we provide you guys with a ton of resources to help you make that happen. Like Zoe said, we're there as a resource. Me and my colleague Kelsey, as well as the rest of our team, we're very collaborative, and we want you guys to succeed and make the green program possible. So we can provide you with the resources that we can to of what your university may need to approve funding. But it's really, you know, just about putting your feelers out there and seeing what's available within your department, and then maybe looking within your study abroad, doing some research on travel grants. Yeah, those are some really great options that students have utilized in the past. And then we do have some university partnerships where we know that there's some funding available, or we have a relationship with them. And we have some partnerships with UPenn, Drexel, Penn State, to name a few. So yeah, there's like those developing relationships, and when we have a connection at the university, we always try to connect our potential student with any connection that we have that knows about the green program, whether that's an alumni or a professor who we have worked with in the past. We'll always, if that's a part of your university, we'll always try to connect you with them so that they can provide you information from their experience or any opportunities that are available at your university. Okay, and then there's another great opportunity to not only lower your program costs, but also to get more involved in the green program. So this is available for our accepted students, our Green Influencer program, which is a program where students can sign up and then become an advocate for the green program and our mission and your mission for sustainable development on your campus. And essentially what that looks like is that when you could do outreach to your friends, families, networks, professors on campus, And if you get 5 students to attend a program, you could receive your program fee for half price. And if you get 10 students to attend the program, you can even get it for free. So this is a great opportunity to, you know, maybe even just get more involved into the green program and in your local community as well, to get some more people on board that could also help you lower your program fee. So like I said, again, this is available for our accepted students. But if anyone would more information, you know, feel free to reach out to us and we'll be happy to provide more information on this program. And don't forget to be adding your questions in on the little box on the side, and we'll be sure to answer them at the end of the info session. So another really famous or a really popular way that students have helped fund their program in the past is through crowdfunding resources like GoFundMe or Indiegogo, to make like a social sharing campaign to receive support from their friends, their family, their networks to go on their programs. So I'll pass this off to Connor, who came up with a really cool, fun idea for his program. So Connor, can you tell us a little bit about your crowdfunding campaign and how you made that happen?
Yeah, so my fundraising kind of got a bit panicked because I accepted very late and was like, right, I need to somehow find £4,500 in about 8 weeks. So I did a lot of the stuff that you said, university funding, managed to somehow squeeze some money out of that. I kind of knew it wasn't going to be enough. And I had a chat with the person who was supporting me most at university of trying to find the funding. And he was like, you know, you need to do something big and bold. So I set up a GoFundMe page and effectively promised to dye my hair green as soon as I reached enough money. So yeah, I got to, I think, about £2,000 and then dyed my hair green, managed to persuade a family friend to do that for me, and dyed my hair green. So I'm sure if you manage to find me anywhere on social media or through some of the pictures on Green, there will be a picture of me with green hair somewhere. But yeah.
Yeah, so how did you come up with that idea, and how did you really start sharing your GoFundMe?
Yeah, so I wanted to do something that kind of had the connection to green. So I wanted it to, you know, make sense and have some sort of like theme around it. So I knew I wanted to do something green. I think at one point we floated around getting a bathtub and putting it inside the library and dyeing loads of baked beans green and paying people to chuck green baked beans on me. But I don't know, I kind of bottled that one a little bit. But for anyone who wants to give that one a go or find some sort of, you know, green gunge and get themselves gunged in front of people, I think that's a good one. But yeah, I was like, I want to make a theme. So why not just dye my hair green? Lots of people know that I'm quite particular about how my hair is. So I think I had to find something where people would be like, you know what, I want to see that happen. I want to see Connor embarrass himself and walk around university every day, go to the library every day with green hair. So I think the best way to do it is push yourself out your comfort zone, find something where people are going to relate to it, get involved, and, you know, yeah, be happy to fundraise it, like give you some money for it.
Yeah, and so did you share that on like your social media, like through email? Like how did you share the campaign?
Yeah, so social media was the biggest one. I shared it a lot through Facebook, and then I tried to connect to my kind of professional network throughout uni and throughout my placements that I've had with companies. So I posted it on LinkedIn. I think those two are my major ones where I managed to get a lot from. But again, there was other avenues that I didn't tap into. I think email would have been great to get it around university a bit more. And again, maybe I floated about at one point trying to get it into like a local paper and see if people through that would do it. There's lots of avenues. I only managed to tap into a few, but yeah, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn were the big hitters.
Nice, cool. Yeah, it was definitely push, especially if you're particular about your hair. Yeah, that's cool. It's a really creative idea. And, even like student organizations, like email, coming up with these campaigns, and even something as simple as explaining as why the green program is something that is important to you, kind of what Zoe and Connor have pointed on as a way that they were able to leverage their funding for their program, was explaining why the green program was going to have an effect on their lives and be important to their studies or their personal professional development. So that's a really important thing that I think to note in both what they're saying is to first ask, put the feelers out there and see what's available at your university, and just don't be afraid to ask, and then also jump out zone a little bit and maybe try something different. You never know what could come out of it. Like Connor said, he was able to develop that funding in a short amount of time, so it's definitely possible. And just be true to who you are, to explain as to why sustainable development is important to you, and having an adventure with the green program will help develop that for you. So something, the last thing I want to note on with our funding is financial assistance. So that's looking at if you have any financial aid that you have for school. This could be a really great avenue to go down as well to help fund your program. With many financial aid programs, as long as you receive credit for your program, you should be able to leverage your financial aid for your program. You'll definitely want to check in with your advisor or a department head to ensure that the certain financial aid program that you are involved in can be utilized in this way. But if you are able to receive credit for the program, your financial aid should be able to be utilized for our programs. And then finally, we also do have a green program scholarship that is available. And we actually are reviewing some of our scholarship applications for our accepted students. So our scholarship is only available for students that are accepted into our programs. And they are available for students that are low income but high potential student leaders who wouldn't necessarily be able to afford the program otherwise. And the funding is like fluctuating, so they go by seasons and when funding is available, but that is available for our accepted students as well. So yeah, be sure to put into the chat bar any questions that you have regarding what we talked about with funding, how to make this possible for you. If you have specific questions for Connor or for Zoe or for myself regarding what we talked about, please don't hesitate to reach out. This is definitely the platform to hear from alumni themselves of how they made their green journey possible. And what made it worth it was the impact that the green program that can have on your life. So beyond just having an amazing experience in a new place, a new culture, maybe a new topic that you haven't really delved into before in your current studies, beyond that, the green program strives to and has proven to redefine and refine the purpose of our alumni, personally, professionally, and academically, to really provide our students with an avenue of where they want to go in their future, whether you're coming on the green program with no idea what you want to do in your future, to having a direct career path. We can either help you maybe figure out what you want that career path to be, or that academic path, or that personal path as well. Or if you have your career path already figured out in your mind, maybe helping you make the connections to make that possible. Also, the green program is an amazing opportunity to put on your resume and talk with recruiters and with interviewers when you're going into your future careers and future internships that you may have, to have a direct experience to come back to and talk about within those interviews. whether that's, like I said, professionally, academically, or personally. And then 95% of our alumni stay involved in sustainability after their program. So this program really, helps our students and, pushes our students to continue their sustainability path in the future. And, our students and our alumni are our biggest advocates, as Connor and Zoe are here supporting us today to provide a little bit of their experience. And I've also made, these trips, the experiences they are, to make them, our Global Youth Travel Award of 2017 winner of the Best Education Provider. Our founder and CEO, Melissa Lee, was identified in the Forbes 30 Under 30 in education. And we're also the 2015 Abroad 101 Top Summer program. And then also the Best of Philly, of the Best Impact Philly initiative. So we're really trying to create impact not only with our students, but within the larger scope of sustainability in the world. So yeah, I think now we can go into any questions that you guys have. Something that I do want to note is that if you have not applied for a program yet, you can use the waiver, the coupon code INFOAPP18 to waive your application fee to really get your green journey started and hit the ground running right away, especially if you're interested in one of our summer programs. We currently have our summer programs that are open in Peru and Japan. And then we also have winter and spring enrolling as well. So get your applications in there because this waiver will expire on Monday, June 18th at 11:59 p.m. So it's INFOAPP18, exactly how it's spelled up there. You can find our application on our website under Apply, and feel free to reach out to me as I will send up a follow-up information after this with any questions that you have about the programs or how to apply or what that process looks like. Don't hesitate to reach out, but I think we'll go into some questions now. So Caitlin, can you give us the questions?
Yes, we got a few.
Great.
So first question that someone named Muhammad had was specifically for Connor. How did his experience with the green program has impacted or influenced his career? Okay,
so Connor, did you hear that? That was Mohammed asked how your green experience has impacted your career.
Yeah, so I've got a job lined up for in August, end of August, upon graduation with a company in the UK called Arup. You guys might know of them. They've got a lot of offices in the States as well, and they are kind of known for being very sustainability focused. They're like they're kind of owned by themselves, so they only join in on projects that they really kind of feel they can relate to, that have like a humanitarian side towards it and have an impact on kind of society as we know it. So like, the green program helped me kind of in my interview showcase that I've gone out there and found a program and a group of people in a network that kind of align with their values, and they can kind of see that that's also my values. So yeah, I mean, an interview, it gave me like a lot to talk about. I think they actually had to tell me to shut up at one point because we didn't have much time left, but it means you can fill the time with good things. You've got something to talk about. It shows there's more to you than just like a kind of a degree at the end of the day. Everyone comes out of university with a degree. It's kind of the extra things that you do that define you and show that you're really passionate about the things you want to do. So the green program has given me kind of the biggest kind of highlight on my CV to say, I'm inspired to do something that's kind of better for the world. And if you're the company that has those values too, then we're going to go far.
That's great. And so were you saying that you were able to talk about your green program experience in your interviews? In your interview with your job?
Sorry, was that to Zoe or to me?
Oh, that was to you. That was to you, Connor.
Okay. Yeah, so I got to talk about it in my interview. Again, it's kind of like pride of place on my CV, alongside some of my placements. So it offers something different aside from your kind of studies to add in and show that you've got other interests, and it gives them kind of more questions to talk about. So like if they're going to ask you questions, you want them to ask you questions in an interview where you actually have an answer for it. And the green program, you want to talk about it. So it's not where you're kind of struggling for words and you're a bit nervous. You start to kind of get excited about the experience that you had, and then they can kind of sense that you're feeling a bit more comfortable in an interview and you're talking about things that you actually enjoy. And that goes so far in an like potential employer looking to kind of see, is this the person that we want working for us, and what are they going to add to our company?
I don't know if I'm pronouncing their name correctly. Had a question for Zoe specifically, saying in Iceland on her experience, what are some new things that she learned in Iceland that she wouldn't have known without going on the program?
Okay, so did you hear that? So that was,
yeah.
Okay, cool.
So I don't think I've ever would have had the same opportunities to like see the plants that I got to see. Like I said earlier, in one of the hydro dams, like we were actually on the floor. Like I was right next to the turbines, like looking at them, looking at all the switches, and like seeing how everything interacts. And just like some of the people we got to meet there, the people who were like lecturing us on geothermal, on hydropower, they're professionals in their field. They know what they're talking about. And just like I just never would have had the opportunity to learn from people who understood it so well and also lived in a country that values it so highly. Like Iceland pretty much entirely runs on renewables. I think like 90% of their homes are heated by geothermal, and pretty close to 100% of their electricity comes from hydropower. So just like it's just unmatched. Like they interact with it every single day. And there was nowhere in the States where I would have gotten that experience.
Nice. Anyone else?
We had a question from Michelle who wanted to know about credit and how it transfers depending on what you're studying, where you go to school, things like that.
Yeah, so that's a great question. Like I said, credit is available for your program, and this really depends on your home university and how they can receive it. So once you are accepted into a program, you'll be provided with a ton of information regarding your course, and as well as a sample syllabus for your program to bring with you to your advisor. And it depends on your university of where they can place this credit. This could be an independent study of research. It really depends on your university, but we do provide you with as much information as we can to bring to your university to then get that credit transferred and everything. And then also, once your program is finished, we connect you with the university in country to be able to get your transcript sent over. So yeah. Did either Zoe or Connor, did you guys receive credit for your programs?
I haven't, like I just got back, so I haven't done it yet, but my advisor did tell me that once everything was finalized with the university that like it should be no problem getting it to count towards. I have free electives. We figured it would just slide right in. So plus it's way cooler to talk about than anything that like any other class I would have taken at school. It's way better to say, yeah, I went to Iceland for 10 days and learned about all these things that I'm passionate about. Kind of like Connor was saying, it gives you something to talk about as opposed to like the generic elective.
Yeah, cool, great. Connor, what about you?
Yeah, so mine's quite different. Being from the UK, the education system just kind of works very differently to the States. So I didn't manage to get in the credit, and I think it's just because it's quite fresh in the UK. So I've tried to work with a few people this year and with Stephen to try and see how credit could be put in, but it's a bit difficult over here. But again, with me, the credit wasn't so important. I was there kind of thinking that I'm investing in a network for the future. So that's kind of what I went in for.
Nice. Okay, great. Thanks, Connor. Anything else?
Yeah, well, I guess Connor just touched on it a little bit, but Zakaya, again, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing their name right, but they had a question about how alumni are still in touch and who is still in touch with one another and how that works, like after the program.
Yeah, nice. So that question was, how alumni stay connected. So we have our alumni network that has a Facebook group, as well as our alumni are connected through email as well. So we send a lot of great blurbs and information and also career development emails out to our alumni. And then we also have an alumni network on LinkedIn that our students stay connected through and are able to connect. And if the student comes to us asking, for any connection, we will, try to connect them with somebody that we find will be the best fit for what they need. But Connor, and as well as Zoe, I don't know if you had an opportunity to meet with any or talk with any alumni on before your program, but were you guys, how has your experience been in the alumni network? Connor, if you want to go first.
Yeah, so it's been good. Effectively, you keep in kind of contact with the people that you met on your own program through the kind of various chats that you set up. And then further from that, I mean, I applied after having a chat with Melissa to be an ambassador. So I've done that in Sheffield, which is fresh because, again, like I said, the green program is not as well known in the UK. But it gave me like an opportunity to do that. So I mean, I've stayed connected with the program in various ways, be it with the headquarters, talking to the other ambassadors on like techniques that we could use in presentations, as well as, I found out there's more ambassadors within the UK who I've made contact with, and we've tried to get things set up. So like, there's various avenues to keep in contact with alumni and the kind of program on a whole.
So something I also want to note, another thing that our alumni get opportunity to do is further travel adventures that are only available to our alumni. So that goes to, we had a trip to Iceland before and Thailand last year, and then our students are actually traveling to some national parks in the US this summer, and those programs in the national parks are actually being run by our alumni, which is a really exciting opportunity to take your leadership skills to the max, and are really exciting opportunities. And then also we provide our students with any conferences that are going on in different areas within sustainability, within renewable energy, whatever we think could be of use to our alumni. We make sure to provide them with all that information that we can, as well as any connections that we have with hiring professionals in the industry, and been able to actually directly move our alumni into their maybe first job or their future career or a career change that they want to make. So we're there as that support system, as well as the thousands of other alumni that are there to support you as well. So yeah, why don't we go on to, we have 2 more questions, so stay tuned. Don't get out just yet. So we'll get these in.
All right, so we have 2 more. Gabe asked what the payment structures are like for the programs. Do you pay all at once? Is there a program fee like option, and how does that kind of stuff work, and what kind of discounts do the students receive?
Yeah, so great question, Gabe. So right now we have 2 payment options for our program, and one is a full payment where you can save up front, and that looks like the if you can pay in full, you'll be able to save up front and have a lower program fee. And then also we have a 3-step payment plan, which looks like you'd be locking in to a full program fee, but you'll be able to cut your program fee into 3 payments, which the first payment is your $500 deposit, and then a second payment that's due 4 weeks after the date that you put down your deposit, and then the final payment is due 6 weeks before the start date of your program. And then depending if there's any, any interesting sales going on, we will provide that information to our accepted students at the time that that's happening. So, but in general, our programs have those 2 payment options with that savings on the full payment, if that's feasible for you. And for most of those, that's about $400 in savings with paying in full. So, and then there's that 3-step payment plan to cut it up into 3 payments. So yeah, that's our traditional payment structure.
All right, and so last but not least,
Zakia,
who corrected me on the chat, she and Claire had a question about how we're involved locally in the program destinations that we're in, and what we do with communities.
Yeah, so that's a great question, Claire and Zakia. Thanks for asking. And maybe Zoe and Connor can kind of talk to their experience on their programs as well. But in Peru specifically, our students get an opportunity to go into a local elementary school to see where they are implementing sustainability solutions in their community and be able to provide support with whatever project that they're working on at that time. And all of our programs are have a mission to be as local, as authentic as possible in supporting the local ecosystem there. So that goes into the food and housing that's within the program as well. We try to make that as, as local and as authentic experience as possible. In our Iceland program, our students get an opportunity to stay at a local guest house. I love to tell this story because I wish that I was there. But on one of our spring break trips, our local guest house host made a big dinner for everybody, and everyone's raving about how amazing it is. And she said, "Oh, I'm so happy. My cousin was fishing for you all day." And so you can see how, even our hosts want you guys to have a really special experience within their culture and their community. And then in Japan, our students get to go within the community and see where they are revitalizing their community from this disaster, and see how they can be involved in that rebuilding as well, and where that rebuilding is happening. But Zoe and Connor, do you want to talk to you a little bit about your experience with working within the local communities in the countries that you were visiting?
Yeah, absolutely. So like you mentioned, so the first 4 nights we were there, we stayed at a guest house, and the lady who runs the guest house is named Helga, and she was the sweetest woman I've ever met. She cooked us the best food, and she was just like very accommodating and helpful to us. She let us play with her dogs, so that was a definite positive. And then we also we got to like give back a little bit. We planted trees. Iceland has a really big problem with erosion just because it has very loose soil, and when it was first settled, they did a lot of logging. So we actually got to go plant birch trees near one of the volcanoes to kind of like help with like revegetating the island and like helping to slow down the erosion. And just we did a lot of stuff like in the community. Like we went to local restaurants and we like met with the locals, and there was just a lot of opportunities to like really get involved. It wasn't like we were just there, we were just tourists. We like actually like got immersed in the culture and like got to meet people. And it was funny because on our last day, one of our guides was like, "Well, I guess we'll upgrade you from tourists now." He's like, "You guys can come back now and say that you know it here." So we had a lot of opportunities to get involved locally.
Connor, do you want to talk a little bit about your experience as well?
Yeah, so obviously I went to Hawaii, which is I think probably known for being quite spiritual, so we say. So we kind of got to involved with that straight away. I think when we kind of got there was lots of like chanting and stuff like that, and we had to develop our own kind of like welcome chant. But yeah, we stayed on local farms. I mean, mine was sustainable food, so a lot of it to do was with food, and that was cool. So we got involved with that smaller community. We kind of stayed away from the kind of urban environment and stayed quite rural and traveled kind of around the coast, and like, you know, saw how different communities act, and they have their own kind of systems for how they go. And like you're saying about food before, we had probably the best food I've ever tasted in my life every day. Everything was kind of made with such love, and it was delicious. It was foods that I've never tried before. I've never had that many vegetables actually in a week. I actually kind of almost converted to a veggie whilst we were there, because I've never known that such flavors could be in vegetables. But no, it was cool. We met some guy from Sri Lanka, and he did as a full veggie kind of like curry night, and that was amazing. And everything's kind of got like a personal touch, so it's good.
Awesome. Thanks so much, guys, for sharing your experiences. You can see that they're really special and unique, and we want our students, as well as the communities that we're going into, to you know, have a really amazing and special experience with each other. So yeah, is there any last minute questions that we have?
No, I see right now.
Okay, cool. Well, if anybody has any further questions, feel free to reach out to us. And I'm Lauren at the Green Program. And you can also follow us on social media, like I said, at the Green Program, and also follow our hashtag only on the Green Program, which you can see it inside. Look into our programs from our students' perspectives as well. So definitely go on there and check it out. And we hope to see you on a program soon. So have a great night, everybody. Thanks. Bye.